Hey, I'm getting treats for the kiddos, but I wanted to make sure I did trick-or-treating accessibly this year, and I just don't know where to start.
There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. Thank you for thinking of people with disabilities and making Halloween enjoyable for everyone.
Absolutely, everyone deserves to have some fun.
I'd start with the treat options you offer. Lots of kids have food sensitivities, nuts, gluten, dairy, so it's fine to offer those in sealed wrappers, but having other treat options, both edible and non-edible treats, are super popular with kids. It can be a good idea to have treats without common allergens in their own separate bowl.
Ooh, and I like non-edible treats like glow sticks and maybe those fake teeth.
Those are huge hits, and there's tons of options. Bouncy balls, bubbles, snap bracelets. Get creative.
Oh, I'm gonna come up with some really unique, fun things. Okay, what else do I do for accessibility?
Next, I would make sure there's at least an option to access treats where people with mobility needs can get to them. Wheelchair, crutches, walkers, that kind of thing.
Oh, I didn't think of my front step. And I'll have to make sure the spooky path to my door is wide enough.
And I love having spooky options for people who like them, but also think about having a way to get to the treats that avoid the spooky, especially if you have noises, or doubly so if you have gruesome sights, and triply so if you have jump scares.
I would feel horrible if I triggered some youngin' to have, say, an autistic meltdown and they had to go home because of me.
And clearly communicating that there will be jump scares and the like before people go in is important. A warning sign creates consent, and for people like me who have PTSD, it'll make sure your scarer doesn't inadvertently get an instinctive self-defense response and have to go to the ER to have their broken nose set.
Yes, my teenage boy who handles that chore would not want that trip.
Also think in terms of creating a safe space. Have options away from strobing lights for those with photosensitivities. Consider how loud or grating sounds can affect people with auditory processing issues.
I hadn't thought of that.
Also be aware of pets. The best practice is keeping your pets away from trick-or-treaters, but if you have to have them with you, keep them kenneled or at the very least leashed.
Yeah, okay. Brinkley is just such a sweetheart, but I know how people can be so mighty scared of dogs, especially when mine gets a little too friendly and jumps up or licks too much, so yeah. What else you got for me?
There's one more important thing I have to say, so stick around, but I also encourage you to be creative. What could you do to help those with disabilities feel included and thought of?
Ooh, one simple idea is I could stage like a resting area with chairs and a sign inviting people to take a breather. Oh, and if it's cold, I might bring out my portable gas fire pit for people to warm themselves.
Those are all great ideas. Lastly, don't judge. You see someone riding a scooter, they may have a mobility or fatigue issue. Don't assume they're lazy. You see someone not dressing up. They may have sensory issues or other things that aren't apparent. You see older kids. They're choosing to enjoy their childhood a bit longer and not rush to adulthood. And they could have a developmental disability.
Heckers, I like trick-or-treating at my age, and I love myself some candy.
Exactly. Snarky, belittling, or teasing comments really only entertain the speaker. Be free with your compliments and make it your mission to fill everyone with joy.
Oh, I will, but first I'm going to be answering some of these comments of these assholes who think that it's just too much trouble for them to make Halloween accessible to everybody, including those people with disabilities.